Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back, everybody. I want to give a big Pittsburgh size good morning and welcome back to you. This is the Two Dumb Yinzers episode 583.
Yeah,
How you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing great. I'm a little emotionally distressed, but I'm doing great.
um, yeah, I hear
I,
you.
I think all of Pittsburgh fandom right now, to some degree, is under some sort of emotional distress.
Yeah, I would have to agree, Mike. I think obviously you're talking about the angst and the anticipation of this possible trade with the San Francisco 49ers to pick up Brandon Ayuk, the wide receiver.
Hmm.
We will be talking a lot about that today. Of course, Mike Tomlin had a press conference early this morning, 9 o'clock. He was being grilled and asked questions about those kind of things and about the game that's coming up this Friday. We'll get into that in just a moment. We do have a lot to talk about today. I do want to say this: if you are making your way up to the Steel City Con this weekend, I know a lot of people like this. The Steel City Con, you get up there and you get to meet some kind of famous people, I guess. But if you get up to the Steel City Con this weekend, 9th through 11th, Pittsburgh's own Britt Baker from the AEW will be at Steel City Con. I do know that there are people that are into her, that dig her, that like her. And if you want get up this weekend to the Steel
I,
City Con and go check out Britt Baker.
you're her biggest fan.
I am her biggest fan. And I hate her too. I don't know how many times, and I shit you not, I don't know how many times I'll see something that she posts and
Uh-huh.
like she I don't know, she just kind of rubs me the wrong way. She's one of puts you in mind of one of them chicks that they're just too good. They're too good for you. And every time I see it, and I don't think that she is, I don't think she's that great.
Yeah.
And every time I see her put something up that's semi conceited, it kind of makes me nauseous. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
nauseates me.
Yeah.
And I always want to put, I want to reply shit that's fucked up to put her in her place, basically. And I never do though. I do. She
Yeah.
she just pisses me off. And I wish I had more of a specific thing to
Yeah.
example to give. I just don't. Yeah, but you know what I mean, right?
I just don't I'm just not a fan of her like wrestling and like this her whole gimmick and just everything about her. I don't see it. I just don't I was never a fan of her.
She just kind of pisses me off
She doesn't piss me off. I just
because I
when
don't
it
think
comes
she's as hot as she thinks that she is. I think is what I'm is what I'm trying to say.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? She comes
Yeah,
up
it's
and
like
she makes like
someone
these.
like someone who thinks they're better looking than what they are.
Yes, yes,
Like
yes.
me, I know what I look like and I'm comfortable with that. But you have some people that
And you
they
shouldn't
think they're
be.
so
But Britt
much more
Baker,
attractive than what they are. Hey,
absolutely.
hey.
And but that is what I'm talking about though.
Yeah.
Britt Baker, again, SteelCon,
Yeah.
Steel City Fest, whatever they call it, this weekend, the 9th through the 11th, to get up and see Britt
Yeah.
Baker from right here in Pittsburgh. But yeah, she falls in that category, Mike. I don't think
Yeah.
she's all that great. She comes off, whether she does in real life or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But she
I
certainly comes off that way that she feels that she is better than everybody, and that's I kind of despise her because of that.
like some of the stuff that I'll catch online about like what's going on in AEW, like when there's drama in the women's locker room, she seems to be the focal point of it. Like apparently someone was being bullied and she was the ringleader of it.
Like
And
a real bullying or like part of the
yeah, like a
show.
real not a not a work, but like a shoot
Yeah,
bullying, as they would say. But yeah, like she would, yeah.
and I always want to
So
put something smart ass in there, but yeah, I don't know.
yeah, like, you hope like come on, like you're representing the city of Pittsburgh. Be better than that. But I know me, so
But
I'm not better than
on the
that.
other hand, you got to give it to her. I mean, she's doing great
You know what?
things,
She's
and
living her dream, man. I give
she's
her,
accomplishing something that
yeah,
every boy dreams of when they're a kid is being a pro
be a
wrestler. I
pro
think at
wrestler,
some
and
point.
she's doing it. So hell yeah,
So
I give her
I
respect
don't
for
take it
that.
away from that, but
No,
like I
hell
said,
no.
just her conceited personality. From what I see,
Yeah,
I always
uh,
want to put something shitty under one of her posts,
yeah.
but at the end of the day, I'm thinking, oh, what the fuck?
And then it's like, okay, is she doing that in character
Right.
as the heel, or is that her true
And I don't want to
personality? So
run into her one day and her totally blow me off because I said something
yeah,
shitty under one of her
yeah. Or
pictures.
you run into her and she's like the nicest person you ever met.
Right.
Yeah. So that's like what's hard being like, with the wrestling is like, are they being real or are they just playing the character?
Right, right. And wrestling's real tricky. They play the
It is
character
too.
even when they're not
Yeah.
even when they're not on the job.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
wrestlers
Like some.
in a
Mhm.
convenience store hanging out together because they travel together or whatnot,
Yeah.
and they're in character. I seen Liv Morgan kissing up with Dirty Dom at
Yeah.
some,
They do that
you
gimmick
know.
well. But then you have like others that, when you catch them outside, they're cool. But like the ones that, are true to the gimmick, it's hard to tell. So,
I know about 20 years ago, I went up to the Civic Arena to watch the WWE, and Kane, when he got
uh-huh.
out of his, they all pull their rental cars up behind the
Yeah.
stadium, and you go back here and you could watch Kane. He got out of the car with a towel over his head because still at that point nobody looked like
Yeah.
pulling up to the stadium with a towel over your head. I mean that's serious shit. I mean you gotta
That's, respecting the business and, you know,
the kayfabe.
yeah, kayfabe. Nowadays people, everyone knows what it is and know who everyone is. So
That's why I think it's
kind of
so
lose it.
special that they do that though, because
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah, that
knows,
makes it, yeah.
except for
Like,
everybody in the trailer park or anybody down south. Everybody basically knows their wrestling is fake.
yeah.
But I dig that about it.
Yeah.
The fact that they show up, they stay in character. They're walking from the
Mhm.
car to the building. They, got their heads covered if you're not supposed to see them. Um, but Mike, let's get started. We got to
I was
talk
gonna say
about a
maybe
lot of
that's how
things.
Ayuk is gonna pull up to a Steelers training camp. He's gonna have the towel overs, and we won't know who's coming out the car.
I'd like that. Well, we will get on that 1 second, Mike. Of course, 9 o'clock this morning, Mike Tomlin did talk to the media. A lot of things to go over today about the game regarding Friday night's game. I'm sorry. We do have a football game tomorrow. We'll get into the weekend schedule, but I do want to get started on the Steelers team, Mike. Mike Tomlin did say this morning Justin Fields and the first team will probably play a couple of series against the Texans, which is nice to hear because a lot of times
Yeah,
preseason game one, you get your one series and you're done if you're the first stringers. I like this. I like this a lot for a couple reasons. For one, you have the luxury at quarterback that you usually don't have. So guess what? If one of the guys do, in fact, something happens, you do have a nice backup. I like the fact that I like to see the starters play a little bit more early in
yeah.
preseason just to kind of get a look at them. Um,
Shake that
also,
rust
yeah,
off too. You get, there's difference between training camp practice, preseason game, and the regular season games. That's the next step. They did have their preseason work. Let's go into the close to the real thing as you're going to get before it kicks off. Shake that rust off, man.
and it's me being it's me being selfish because
Yeah,
at the end
you
of the
want to
day,
see
it's
your
not my
guys.
health and
Yeah,
it's not my
yeah,
concussion, but I want to see the guys early. I want to
yeah.
see them play. Also, Mike Tomlin did mention this morning these are going to be the people that are not
Hmm.
playing Friday night against the Texans. This is the will not play list: Isaac Siamalu, Alex Highsmith, T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward, Russell Wilson. I'm sorry, Minka Fitzpatrick, and Patrick Queen. Those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players will not be playing
Hmm.
Friday night. However, don't let that discourage you because the Steelers are in action, and you know what? It's going to be nice to see the guys back out there,
Yeah.
see the uniforms out there, and like I
Like,
said, we're going to get a chance to have a nice look at this offense.
yeah. I have no problem with any of those guys sitting out. I would like to see Queen out there, just because he's our new guy. I want to see what he can do out there. But he's been around the block. He's still young, but he's been in the league for like 4 years now, so he really doesn't need it. But everyone else, all veteran guys that need some rest. It doesn't surprise me about Russ because he's had limited action. But I'm okay with all of those guys sitting. We know what we're going to get out of every single one of those players.
You think at the end of the day, I mean, as we said, Justin Fields is getting the start Friday night. Russell Wilson will not be playing Friday night. I think at the end of the day, Mike, here in a month, whenever the season kicks off and we get things going, I think that Russell Wilson will be our starter.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's going to be anything that Justin Wilson's going to be able to do in between now and then to become the starter, not because he's not good enough. I just
Hmm.
think when you have a guy that's won the Super Bowl, who's got the credentials, and I think it's going to be very hard eventually at first
Yeah.
to Russell Wilson. If it eventually happens and it happens organically, and you bring Justin Fields in on a situation, and maybe Russ
Hmm.
got hurt, maybe he's having a turnover day, I could see it then. But I think for what it is, who he is, what we brought these guys in for, I can't imagine Russell Wilson doesn't start on opening day.
Yeah, and like Tomlin said, like, hey, there's a reason he's number one on the depth chart. But also at the same time, this time of the year, you look at that initial depth chart, it is what it is. It
Yeah.
can change by the time regular season rolls around. But like you said, they brought him in to be the starter. They said he has the pole position. Fields is playing really well in training camp, but we're gonna see how he does
Mike,
in preseason.
do you get a Russell Wilson that starts to kind of turn into the Russell Wilson in Denver if things don't go his way? And in other words, say these next 2 weeks happen,
Mm,
and Mike Tomlin says, you know what, Justin Fields is going to be the starter. He's going to be the number one. Russ, you got to take the back seat. Does he turn into Denver Broncos Russell Wilson, or do you think we're going to be okay with him?
I think we'll be okay with him. And like the Denver Bronco, Russell Wilson, like he really didn't say a lot in the media. He just had like end up bringing more and more people around, like his people, and staying with his people. As right now, he's being out with the guys, with the boys, with the team. So he might just isolate himself, and that would be okay. All right, we have another starter ready to go. But I don't think he's going to be a vocal problem like we saw in the years past, where when AB started to lose his mind, when James Harrison towards his end run here was yapping to the media. I don't think we're going to get that from Russ.
I think also with Russell Wilson, the good thing is he's only on the hook for a year. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Well,
if there's
both of them are
issues,
too. Yeah.
exactly. If there's any issues, it can certainly be quickly extinguished. But that's just one concern that I have
Yeah.
because toward the end of the tenure at Seattle, and then also into the time in Denver, the 2 seasons, he was a little bit. What's the word? What's a good word to use? What he was in Denver? It was just
Pouty.
pouty.
Not pouty a little bit, but he really didn't like pout to the media. But you know it. Yeah, you can see it
Right.
on the body language. Aloof. Aloof, I think, would
It was
fit Russell
aloof.
Wilson perfectly that first year in Denver. He looked a little aloof. And last year he was a much better version of himself than the year before. Hopefully we get that version of Russ. I don't think we're gonna get prime Super Bowl Russ, but if we can get what he did last year, I'll be happy with it. But if the way Fields is going, I think it's gonna be hard to keep Justin Fields off the field.
I do too.
He way he's
And that's
playing,
what you want to see, though. I want to see
yeah,
Justin Fields play to the point where you don't want to see him not on the field. That's the
yeah,
guy you want to see because considering both of these guys on a 1 year deal,
mm-hmm,
Russ is probably going to go away next year, providing
yeah,
something crazy don't happen and he wins a Super Bowl MVP or something like this.
yeah.
I want to see
But
Russell Wilson, or I'm sorry, I want to see Justin Fields play very
mm-hmm,
well because chances are this is going to be our guy for
yeah,
a couple of years, I think.
and real quick because it's gonna this could factor into the potential trading for Ayuk because he's going to want 30 million a year.
Right.
What if Justin Fields takes hold of this starting job and goes out there and plays kind of like Lamar Jackson? Because people say he has that ability to, rush for a lot of yards, throw for a lot of yards, cut down on the interceptions, and has let's say like 25 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, but also runs for almost 1,000 yards and another handful of touchdowns. He could command a huge chunk of money. Then you got to pay Fryermuth. Then you got to pay Pickens. This is like the one thing we're not a lot of people are talking about is the salary cap implications of making this trade, having these two quarterbacks on 1 year deals. It's going to be interesting to see how Omar Khan can navigate these waters. And he's the one guy I trust to do it. He was the salary cap guru before he became GM, but it's going to be interesting because I want Fields to ball out, but I don't want him to ball out so much that we can't afford him. We can't
Yeah.
afford Pickens and this good offense that we could potentially
I
have.
mean, that's Mike. That's
That's
the
the
life.
scary part. Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
life in modern day
yeah,
NFL. I mean,
yeah.
look at every
And
team that's good. Look what happens to them the year after they win a
yeah,
championship. I mean, you
it's
remember the
hard.
day when the Chiefs had Tyreek Hill and everybody. Look at
Yeah,
their offense now. Sometimes you're looking at the Chief offense and
yeah,
you don't know anybody besides Patrick
yeah.
Mahomes.
And they won back-to-back Super Bowls since then.
Exactly. So
So
that is, I mean, you
yeah,
got to you kind of play for now. Now that's the
yeah,
way
you
that
have to.
the
Yeah,
NFL
and
is.
deal with the future when it gets there.
Right. So, with that being said, Mike, let's get into this Brandon Ayuk. I know a lot of people want to talk and hear and know about what's going on with him. I will certainly update you on what I do know. As of right now, this morning, Mike Tomlin at his conference, at his interview, whatever you want to call it, he did get asked. They said this to him: was there any phone calls? Was there any AM phone calls? Was a question asked to Mike Tomlin. He says it's a little bit early on the west side, of course, meaning the West
Mm-hmm.
Coast. He said it's a little bit early on the west side right now, so probably not. Probably no phone calls as of 9 this morning. However, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that could go into this trade. I
Mm-hmm.
do know as of last night, the New England Patriots are out. It
Yeah.
was between the Patriots, the Browns, and the Steelers, and the Commanders. They're
Yeah.
still hanging in there too.
The Patriots said they're comfortable with their wide receiver room.
Yes, they're comfortable with working with their young wide receivers, and they're going to go with that. So the Patriots are out of the running for
Yeah.
Brandon Ayuk, which is exciting for a Steeler fan. Like this is what I heard was what was being demanded from San Francisco. Of course, there's a lot of back and forth, a lot of negotiation going on. Um, looks like this. They want, okay, this is what we're willing to give up. Dan Moore Jr.,
Mm-hmm.
James Daniels, Calvin Austin III, and a second round pick.
Ooh.
That's our offer for Brandon Ayuk. What the 49ers want for Brandon Ayuk is this: Pat Fryermuth, George Pickens, and a first round pick. So you might be saying to yourself, what needs to be done for this to happen? What needs to be done for Brandon Ayuk to come to the Steelers to become a reality? And what I'm seeing is they want Pat Fryermuth, George Pickens, and a first round pick, which I think is out of the question, not
That's
because of the
yeah.
first round pick, but especially because of George Pickens and Pat
Yeah.
Fryermuth. Mike,
Yeah.
we're
Even it,
building a team. We're trying to
yeah,
get
yeah.
Ayuk to complement what we have. Giving up Pickens is counterproductive. I don't see Muth going anywhere. First round pick, I'm fine with. I think a first
Me
round
too.
pick would certainly,
For the value for him, yeah.
absolutely, because you're basically getting a first round pick anyway who's got a couple seasons
Yeah.
under his belt. He's seasoned. I'll take that. But Mike, these other picks, there's
Yeah.
no way. There's no other way you could give up George Pickens in this deal.
No, even if they say, hey, it's a first and either Pickens or Fryermuth, even that's a non-starter for me because those are two cornerstones of the offense we're trying to get Ayuk to add to it. Yeah, I understand what San Francisco is saying. Hey,
Absolutely.
we're giving up a weapon. We would like one back. Well, okay. We'll give you the draft picks next year to go get your guy, but you're not getting one from our roster. Or we can give you, hey, you got Van Jefferson, we've got Calvin Austin the third. You can take a pick from there. Hearing James
I'll
Daniels,
give him that whole group of wide receivers we picked up over the
yeah,
offseason.
yeah. Roman Wilson and Pickens are
Well,
the only two
yeah, not him.
untouchable in that room.
Quez
Everyone
Watkins
else, yeah,
gone.
yeah. But like, I, I
Van
don't like.
Jefferson gone.
Yeah, gone. But like us offering James Daniels, I get it. His contract's up at the end of the year. We're not going to re-sign him. But I would love to have him this year and Ayuk with that offense at full capacity.
Yeah.
But if that's what they have to do, and then they, put Mason McCormick there or nasty Nate Herbert goes there, Frazier goes to center, I think they can work around it. I think our O line would go from what was going to potentially be one of the better units on our team, just going back to kind of taking not a step back from last year, but not that huge step forward that I would anticipate. That's why I don't want to see James Daniels go. But you have to, in trades like this, you have to have that give and take. You have to
Yeah,
give
you got
up
to give
something to
something
get
up.
something. It's life, and you know what? At the end of the year, he's going to be gone. So might as well start that transition now. And if you can get Ayuk and you're able to get him to a good contract that allows you to resign the people we were just talking about, you go ahead and do it. Like, you just don't be afraid to do it. If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, you know what? You change
All
on
right,
the
so
fly.
that was the latest. That was as of last night. I was following us all day yesterday. I was trying to keep up with this Brandon Ayuk negotiation. Earlier in the day, the rumors from FanDuel had San Francisco wanted for Ayuk, they wanted the 25 second round pick, 26 third round pick, and Calvin Austin the third. That was the early day rumors yesterday. That was from FanDuel.
I would.
I would do that in a
take
minute.
that. I would take that in a minute.
Right. So, I
San
mean, as you
Francisco
can
would be like,
imagine,
"F
and you were
you."
saying, San Francisco is going to drive a harder bargain.
Yeah,
They're not wanting to lose their
like
star.
can FanDuel all of a sudden become the GM of
You're right.
John Lynch? You go take a nap. Let FanDuel take over for you.
But there is some good news. As I said, the New England Patriots are out,
Yeah,
and the other teams that were involved are the Steelers and the Browns. And then, like I said, on the outside, you still have the Commanders hanging in there.
yeah. And Ayuk already apparently said, I do not want to go to Cleveland.
Yes, that's the very next words out of my mouth. This was in quote. Brandon Ayuk says, "I'm not fucking going to Cleveland."
Cam Hayward, that should have been your
That's
response.
the right answer, Cam.
That's the right answer. Not,
That's the
you
right
know what?
answer.
Not, I might go to Cleveland.
If it
No,
doesn't work out here for me in Pittsburgh, I'm going to go play for the Browns. That's the exact wrong
no.
answer.
This makes me want Ayuk even more.
Good morning to Ralph. How you doing today, sir? Always great hearing from you. So that is the up to date scoop on
Yeah.
Brandon Ayuk. As I know, also Mike, I did see right before I went on today that the Cam Hayward contract is no longer a contract priority. Mike, do you know
Good.
anything about this?
No, this is I'm not gonna lie, Ryan. This is breaking news to me. I did not see this. Must have got lost in the wash of everything I was checking out. So I did not see that, and I think that's appropriate.
I do too. You know what?
Like I hope he has a year that would garner him a good contract, hopefully somewhere else. Because if he has a great year, like he wants to have, and like a lot of media and fans think he can do, I would happily have that. But I don't want to sign him to that contract because I think he's going to have that one final good year, and it will be this year.
Yeah.
And my God, it would be a perfect, like he has that great year. We get Ayuk, we go on a magical run, and Cam can waltz off into the sunset a champion. That would be a storybook season right there. That would
Yeah,
be
I'll
the
take it.
Cam Hayward storybook year. That would be his Jerome Bettis year.
Mike, this is the weekend lineup. Tomorrow we do have a game on Thursday night. This is the Panthers at New England. The Panthers and the Patriots tomorrow night. Maybe get a little look at Deontay Johnson, see how things are going because he's
Oh,
making it sound like it's all rainbows and roses in Carolina, and they all just love him and they all embraced him. I want to see how they feel after he drops a couple balls and after he runs backwards for about 15 yards. Then I want to see what Carolina says.
he would still be the best receiver they've seen in a while.
You're right. Then Friday, of course, everybody knows the Texans at the Steelers. Our own Derpy, will
Whoa.
be up down at the Acrisure Stadium on the North Shore to watch that game. On Saturday, Mike, we have the Bears at the Bills, the Packers at the Browns, Chiefs at the Jaguars, Seattle at the Los Angeles Chargers. And then on Sunday, Mike, we do have, it looks like the Broncos and Colts, Lions at Giants, Falcons at Dolphins, Eagles at Ravens, the Commanders at the Jets, Raiders at the Vikings, Buccaneers at the Bengals, 49ers at Tennessee, the New Orleans Saints at the Arizona Cardinals, and then finally the Cowboys at the Rams. So here we are, Mike, week one officially. They call
Yeah,
this. If you get season tickets, this would be listed as week one in your booklet. Mike, it's here. We waited every single day since the
we
Super
made it.
Bowl ended. We patiently waited this year, and here it is. Here we are, man.
A full slate of games all the way until February.
How you like that?
I like it. That the one game last week, that little appetizer, just wasn't enough.
And
I
it was,
need
I mean,
more.
they kind of like stole your appetizer because it
Yeah,
got
they did
rained
like
out.
halfway
And
through, like the waiter came by and just snatched the plate out of my hand. Yeah, so
you don't do that to
now
Mike, believe me.
you don't touch another man's fries. So, but yeah, this full slate coming up, I can't wait, dude. Oh God, it's going to be a thing of beauty. Yes, I'm a sick man because I want to watch all these games with all these backups that I do not know.
Also, Mike Minka Fitzpatrick, I know you talked a little bit about this on Monday. He goes on and on and on and on and on a little bit more about Beanie Bishop
Yeah.
and Beanie Bishop's work ethic. This, of course, was a concern of ours because of the Cam Sutton suspension, which takes us to week 8 of the season, I do believe. And
Yeah.
we were talking a lot of who's going to fill in that slot corner position. And I got to tell you, I'm hearing nothing but good things about Beanie Bishop from
Oh
Minka
yeah.
Fitzpatrick, from Dante Jackson, from the whole load back there in the secondary. That's got to be encouraging, Mike.
That is huge. And you're wondering, it's making me wonder, like, how this guy fall in the draft.
You know what? They've been
Undrafted.
saying nothing but good about him
Yeah.
since. I mean, come on.
Yes.
I can't wait to see this
Yeah.
guy
Even like
play.
even before he was kind of linked to them as a seventh round pick,
Yep.
someone that you can get there. And then he fell through all the way and boom, he immediately jumped to opportunity to come here and like, and this really isn't out of the blue too. Like a lot of reporters were like, was a sneaky good move. They're like, down the line he could be a potential starter. I didn't think anyone thought it would be this immediate in the way he was playing. This guy is looking like a steal. And you get him, Porter, Dante Jackson back there. Then you add in Cam Sutton, Minka, uh, Deshaun Elliott. This secondary is looking really good.
They're saying he
It-
wants to learn. He's hitting the films. He has a lot of
yep.
questions for the veteran players,
Yep.
things that you'd like to see, especially as a
I
rookie.
love it. Yeah.
And the abilities that this kid got, from what I understand, it's going to be a nice fit. And you know what? Once week 8 comes around and you do get Cam Sutton back in the lineup, that only becomes a good problem for you, Mike, because now you have a Beanie Bishop who's playing good, who filled that
Oh
spot,
yeah.
and so again, it becomes a good problem. And in my opinion, more cornerbacks, the better. It's never a
Yeah.
bad thing to
Yeah.
have a surplus of cornerbacks in the
Oh,
NFL.
especially in today's NFL, dude, man, how wide open offenses are becoming now. And God, we haven't even talked about Corey Trice. I don't even know what he's doing at camp because everyone's focused on Beanie Bishop. So
Yeah,
we got a lot of young corners on this team, and if Beanie can pan out, looking like Joey's going to pan out, that's nice addition right there. That's just damn good
absolutely.
scouting right there.
Absolutely, Mike. I can't wait to see Dante Jackson play. I keep, everything I hear
He's
about
getting
him,
talked a lot about too.
it's
A lot of
getting
people
better
are,
and better. At first, it was
yeah,
like, oh yeah, who's this guy? We traded Deontay Johnson for Dante Jackson. Is it the same guy? Who knows what this?
yeah,
Mike, what I'm finding out is he's playing very well. He has some
yeah.
pretty good skills. He's not the big, tall kind of cornerback like Joey Porter Jr. is, like Corey Trice is. But Mike, I think that from what I'm hearing, again, you're a Carolina Panther and you're being productive as he was. That's
Yeah.
encouraging as well. It's easy to be
Yeah, that's
productive when you're
huge.
on a good team.
Yeah, when you're productive on a bad team, that speaks volume of your ability.
Absolutely. Mike, also around the NFL, some Pitt related news. The former Pitt wide receiver, Jordan Addison, he gets a DUI over the past few days in Los Angeles. He fell asleep on the freeway. He fell asleep on the freeway driving, gets a DUI. You know what? I never really seen problems with Jordan Addison when he was at Pitt, but after he left, you started to see a couple red flags popped up for me,
Yeah.
and then also in the NFL. But I hope that he continues to have a good career. I hope that he gets that all taken care of,
Yeah.
and
It,
continues to do what he does. But like I
yeah.
said, he has that wide receiver demeanor to
Mentality.
him. He's gonna
Yeah.
run into
Yeah.
shit.
It's like especially like his DUI came right after his rookie teammate just died because of a drunk driver.
Yeah,
And you go and do that. It's like, come on, dude. Put your thinking cap on. I understand you're young. When we're young and dumb, we do stupid stuff. But come on, dude. After that happened, and the position you're in, the privilege that you have of doing what you do,
yeah.
just think, man. Let's think.
Also, Mike, the Kansas City Chiefs, they made their kicker the highest paid kicker in the league. Of course, Harrison Butker, somewhat controversial as of late. Mike, he inks a 4-year, $25.6 million contract with the Kansas City Chiefs. Mike, are the special teams players finally getting their fair due in the NFL?
I think so. It's taken a long ass time,
I mean, you
but
just
they're
put
they're
Devin
finally.
Hester in the Hall of Fame. You're
Yep.
paying a kicker, $25 million.
Yeah. And they're integral parts of the team. It's nice that they're smart teams are finally realizing, hey, we should pay these guys because they're good kickers are hard to find.
Absolutely.
We went through some bad kickers and bad punters in our lifetimes here in Pittsburgh. So you find one, you lock them down because that way more or less I have like a 95, 98, 99% chance of a guaranteed 3 points. You
Oh,
can run
absolutely.
Bucker
I
out,
mean,
you can run,
a good kicker's invaluable.
yeah. Oh
And you
god,
know what?
yeah.
Teams have been getting a steal with kickers for years because they
Good.
don't get paid as much.
Yeah.
But you have a closer in baseball who comes in and throws 8 pitches maybe once every 3 or 4 days. He gets paid big money. Why can't these kickers
Yeah.
who come in and do this? I mean, it's a job
Yeah.
that needs to be done. If you don't have these good kickers in the NFL, these teams you don't realize what it is that
Hmm.
they contribute. Because everybody else is so
Yeah.
flashy, so fast, so big, so strong. We tend to forget about that little guy. But Mike, he's a
Like
big part.
big part, and he made some big kicks. And like, look at Adam Vinatieri when he was up in New England. Without him, they don't have at least three Super Bowls
Oh,
because of
absolutely.
their kicker.
And
And
he
look
is
at,
on the list, Mike. He can be a Hall of Famer next year. He is on
I
the
think he
candidate
should
list.
be. He was that clutch. I think Justin Tucker should be in the Hall of Fame. I think he might be the best field goal kicker I've ever seen.
Yeah, Justin Tucker looks real good. Mike, a lot of people like this. They want to talk about this Madden 25. The ratings come out. I want to give you the Pittsburgh Steeler
Ugh.
ratings, and we will move on. All right, so from 80 up, we do have a handful of players. Mike, if you like Madden, I know Derpy, he likes these video games. I kind of wish he was here today to talk about it, but
Oh,
I'm going to give you.
he would be having a conniption right now about these ratings.
So here we go, Mike. 81 overall. This is the lowest. I'm going to top to bottom on the list. 81 overall. You have Chris Boswell.
Should be higher.
We were just talking about that.
One of the better kickers in the league.
Isaac Siamalu, 81 overall.
Should be higher. One of the better guards in the league.
Patrick Fryermuth, 82 overall.
Yeah, it's fair coming off some
You know what?
injury
I'm
plagued
kind of
years.
going in the wrong direction. Let me kind of, I don't not start over, just go back a couple notches. So Chris Boswell, 81. Joey Porter Jr., 81.
Yeah, it's fair.
Isaac Siamalu, 81. Okay, Jalen Warren, 82.
I think that should be just a tad bit higher, but yeah.
And now I'm on track. So back to
All
Fryermuth,
right.
82. It goes side to side, not up and down. So
Oh,
it's
okay. Yeah.
yeah. So 83, Mike, 83 overall for the Madden 25 game for the Steelers, 83 overall. George Pickens, at 83 overall.
Pump
So,
those
you,
numbers
so
up,
what you're
baby.
saying, you think we're lower than we should be from the players
Yeah,
that I
I
named
think
so far.
everyone else is those other guys were a couple scores lower. I think Pickens should be way higher than
All
84.
right. The next one with 83 overall is Najee Harris. Najee Harris.
Fair.
Patrick Queen, 85 overall.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Alex Highsmith, 89 overall.
Eh, I think that's a bit too high.
Uh, Cam Hayward, 90.
Way too high.
Minka Fitzpatrick, 93. If Minka Fitzpatrick is 93, Cam Hayward is nowhere near a 90.
No.
Maybe early in his career.
Or yeah. Way early in his career, he was a beast. That's when I loved Cam.
And of course, the top ranked rated player on Madden from the Steelers for this 25 game coming out. It may already be out. I'm not sure when it comes out. It's got to be
So
soon.
it comes out pretty soon.
The overall rated player, Mike, of course, is 97 overall, TJ Watt.
And that 97's about right.
You think?
Get that run get back to the run stuffing more consistently, TJ.
Do you think that change is made this year? Do you think he gets back to playing a better defense against
I
the
think
run?
so.
Because as much as it was talked about last year, it was never addressed last year. He continued
No.
to play that same kind of defense.
Yeah.
It could have been a lot better. Could have been a lot
Yeah.
more productive for him.
Yeah, because
But do you see that? I mean, it's hard to do if you got you're the top dog.
yeah, I know when you're the best, one of arguably the best pass rusher in the game. I understand the instincts
How do
of
you
one
tell
of
him he's
pin your
not doing
ear
a good
backs
enough
and
job?
go after it. But like, there's some of those plays, man, where he just runs himself out and leaves a hole over there. Where early in his career, he would still rush the passer, but still have that edge set ready to go to get the running back. A couple times last year we've seen it too, or you think the running back was going to go and he'd stick out his arm and get the guy. But there are times though when he wouldn't even do that. So get back to the run stuffing game. Come on, dude, be that complete player that you once were. Don't just try to be the sack merchant.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I'm concerned about,
Yeah,
Mike. I do feel that that could very well be the case. I
yeah,
want to see him change things around. I want to see him, become that player that again stretches his long ass stretch
yeah,
Armstrong across the line and grabs the guy that's trying to go to the left and makes a play. That's the
yeah,
guy I want to see, Mike. I just don't know. As years go on,
yeah,
these guys do get older, and you just don't know if you're going to see that guy anymore.
yeah,
You hope that
yeah,
they can make an adjustment and it could be simple. But on the other hand, he's another year older, and it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks.
yeah. Yeah. Thing is, though, he has that trick in his bag. It's just getting him to trust it more. Be like, hey, not every play you have to go and kill the quarterback. You know,
Right.
you will. He's good enough that he can get there. You just make sure that run play is not happening to your side.
And finally, Mike, as far
Great
as
player though. We're not talking shit on TJ. If anyone
no,
new is here, listen, we love TJ.
and then on Madden, Mike, on Madden 25, the top 32 quarterbacks, I just want to let you know where the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterbacks land, and then we will move on a little bit here. Mike, Justin Fields lands at number 24 out of 32 quarterbacks with a 75 overall. And Russell Wilson lands at 21, the 21st best quarterback on Madden 25 with a 76
I'm
overall.
I'll take both those quarterbacks to the Super Bowl in Madden, baby.
Yeah, but you can't put it on rookie mode anymore. You can't do
Yeah,
that,
I
man.
know. Hey, I'm
And if
old.
you
I'm
are, you
tired,
can't
and I
brag to
just want to
people
just
about how
be.
good it went.
That's what like I was talking to the one guy at work about NCAA. He's like, I haven't won a national championship yet. I'm like, I did, but it was on freshmen, so it don't
Yeah,
count.
yeah, you can't. Yeah, you
Sometimes you just want to beat up on the computer, man.
absolutely. I believe me. I understand that more than anybody.
Yeah.
Mike, we do want to move on a little bit here. Football across the town. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds are in action today. If you want to make down to Highmark Stadium, I'm sorry. The Detroit City soccer team is in town to take on our Pittsburgh Riverhounds, who they've been winning soccer games, Mike. So
Yeah.
maybe they could keep this thing going, make a playoff push, and make a run at it. Tonight starts 7 o'clock p.m. down at Highmark Stadium. The Hounds against Detroit City.
The Hounds.
All right, you ready to talk about this unfortunate mess?
Yeah, do we have to? It's been
Uh,
such a great day.
I know. Well, I got to tell you, the Pittsburgh Pirates did their job.
They
They did
did.
this was a successful season, and what I mean by that is they kept it interesting all the way up until Steelers season, which a lot of times they're done by April. This team drops out by May. There are 20 games under 500, but you know what? They made it. Like they made it. We played Friday, and I've lost my interest in this team a couple of games ago, and I'll tell you why here in a second. But they did their job. They're right where we want them to be. Something to follow, something to cover. Pittsburgh sports, and then make it just a Steeler season, and then they could go do whatever it is they do in the fall. The Pirates.
Yeah. They can
Uh,
just disappear from our consciousness. I'll be happy.
the Pittsburgh Pirates are last 7 games, and this is why I'm telling you that it's done. This is the last 7 days, not the last 7 games. The last 7 days for a team that's trying to fight for a playoff spot against teams that are directly in competition with the Pittsburgh Pirates. It goes like this: the last 7 days, Mike, loss, day off, loss, win, loss, day off, loss. One win, last 7 days, a couple of days off in there, granted, but Mike, how I have it written out, it's loss, off, loss, win, loss, off, loss. And it literally is written out LOL, W,
that
LOL. That's what it is
that
right now.
that sums up the pirate consistently inconsistent. That's what we've been saying all season about this team. And that's what they are. They're an average ball club, and they did their job, man. They got us to training camp. They got us to St. Vincent. Got it. Gonna get it. They're gonna crawl to the first preseason game, get themselves across the line. They did their job. Well done, boys. But it's disappointing, man. Just how close they were to making the playoffs.
Mike,
Just how
they
close.
made it to be buyers at the trade deadline. That's how
Yeah.
close.
Well,
That's
then we become buyers, and then in typical pirate fashion, the guy we get who's hitting really well is betting 3 for 21 since he came
three for
here.
22. Actually, there's even
Oh,
one
three
more
for
bet.
22. My bad. I was
And you
giving
got to
him just a bit
remember,
too much credit.
he had 2 hits in the very first game that he played. What's he done since? He had 2
Uh,
singles in that very first game.
Buckus. Yeah, yeah. It,
Uh, Brian De
it
La Cruz, of course, we're talking
yeah,
about.
Brian De La Cruz. I think this is a reflection on the Pirates organization, not him, because he was not like this in Florida. And then he comes here and this is organizational philosophy to batting. You can't. Someone who's a decent hitter comes here and all of a sudden can't hit. That's not them. That's the team changing his approach to hitting, the philosophy.
Mike, the
This
end.
is an indictment.
This is the beginning of the end for the Pirates. I
It is.
promise you. I promise you. Listen, they're not going to get any closer than what they were for the rest of the season.
No.
These next 8 games, which I started 2 games ago, I called it the next 10 games.
Yep.
Next 8 games, you have 2 more against the Padres. Then you go out to play the Dodgers for 3, and then you got 3 out in San Diego. Mike, this 10-game streak will be the beginning of the end for the Pirates. Let me talk a little bit about. Let's start with the division first, and we'll get into yesterday's game. At the top of the division, no surprise, no changes. Milwaukee is at the top. St. Louis is sitting in second place, 6 games out. The Pirates sitting 7 games out in third place, 4 games out of the wild card, which we'll talk about that in a moment. Cincinnati Reds 8.5 out, and the Chicago Cubs in the basement 9 games out. Mike, we were sitting in a playoff spot. Then we dropped back a little bit in that out of that wild card spot. Then we were teetering right around a game and a half. Mike, this 4 games I think is alarming. If you're following what these guys are doing, if you're following them playing these teams that they're directly competing with, the Arizona Diamondbacks, the San Diego Padres, these teams are all playing good baseball. Mike, this is it's not going to get any better from here on out. I'm gonna concede that this season, as far as trying to be a playoff competitor, as far as trying to get one of them wild card spots, as far as possibly being a competition in the division, I say that's all over. Pirates crawl across the finish line at the end of September.
Yeah, it's just how bad is this record going to be? I think before the season started, I had them at just over 500, like 81, 82 games, or whatever it would have been, whatever the
Yeah,
math breaks out to be. I think they will be lucky to get 500.
yeah, I do too. I don't think they'll finish 500. Where I did at one point,
I did
but
too. I did too. But you know what? Before I said this team was done and buried earlier in the year, and I was wrong. Hopefully, I'm wrong here. But like you said, man, a couple, I think last show and the week before we went on vacation, like this time of the year, teams that aren't in it, you can see them lose interest. You can
yeah,
see the hustle goes away, that try goes away, and I think this Bucco team has a lot of players on this roster that will not give up, but kind of phone it in. You know, you have that
yeah.
shitty day at work, that shitty week at work. You're just going to phone the rest of the weekend.
That's
I
something
think
that's
that's what the
consistent with
Buccos
the
are going to do.
Pirates too.
Yeah,
They
I
they
like I don't see it coming from Kutch. I don't think from Big Stacks. I don't see it coming from Keller. I don't see it coming from Skeens, but just about everyone else on this roster, I can kind of see it.
And as you said, I mean, it's kind of something that they get used to doing every year. So we will
Yeah.
see, Mike. I say it's over. Pirates Padres last night. You get another good starter. Bailey Falter starts. Rain comes just as it did on the Paul Skeens start on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
2 of our good starters, they both they get pulled early because of the rain delay. Falter gets 2 innings in, gives up 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and a strikeout before he gets yanked. Woodford comes in. Hey, he pitches out right, I guess. I don't know. He gives up a few runs. He gives up 3 runs, 3 hits. He has a K. Nicholas steps in, Stratton, and then Santana for the day. Pirates lose 6-0. They get out hit 14-5. In the offense, Kutch, Telez, Bart, IKF, and Hayes, they all have 1 hit while being shut out for the total of 5 hits. G1 Bay and Jared Triolo both get a walk, essentially getting nothing accomplished. Game 2 today, 2 of 3 is at 6:40. See if the Pirates could hang in there. They blow this series tonight. Probable starters are Marco Gonzalez for the Pirates, coming in with a 1-1 record of 3.72 ERA and 20 strikeouts on the season. They'll be going up against Michael. I'm not even sure. I don't know what this guy's name is, and my handwriting is pretty rough. Michael something. Michael King. I'm sorry. King comes in with a 9-6 record, a 3.26 ERA, and Mike, he has 144 strikeouts on the season. 100. Remember the other day, the pitcher we were talking about had 173
Mm-hmm.
strikeouts. This guy has 144 strikeouts. So,
Oh, we're screwed.
so there's no question on why these Padres are good. They are. They got a
Yeah,
good,
they're a
solid
really
baseball
good
team.
team. It's just a solid ball club from top to bottom.
Absolutely, man. I couldn't agree more. I was fearing these series. I really was. I thought you got to stack, you got to stack, you got to stack wins before you get to those 10 games. And you know what? We didn't.
Oh,
We were lingering. We kept our head above water, and it just
yeah.
wasn't enough. Mike, um, But you know who's having a pretty good year? Let me talk about some accomplishments. We've been talking about
Okay,
some.
okay. Well, let's bring the positivity back up.
All right, Brian Reynolds
Big
really
stacks, baby.
big stacks really shut me up.
Yeah, he did. He showed us both up, man.
June, Brian Reynolds goes 330. He has a 330 batting average, 15 extra base hits, 6 home runs, and 16 RBIs. That was June. July, a 325 batting average, 6 extra base hits, 5 home runs, and 15 RBIs. First few days of August, 455 he's batting with 3 extra base hits, 1 home run, and 1 ribby. So if anybody deserves accolades on this team, Brian Reynolds would certainly be one of those
Mhm.
players. Again, he shut me up, man.
Yeah, he started off a little slow, a little cold, but my God, he heated up. And if we had an offense around him too, that would be awesome. But yeah, this guy right here, he's played well in the field, at the plate. Well done. This is why he was an all-star this year. Well done.
Right. And as far as all stars go, Mike, the other player that I'm going to talk about a little bit is Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens received multiple first place votes for the Cy Young Award in the latest poll. In the latest poll, Paul Skeens has received multiple first place votes for the Cy Young, and Paul Skeens is atop the NL Rookie of the Year race. Paul Skeens is atop
That should be.
the Rookie of the Year race. So, Paul, we all know he's doing some great things.
Yep.
This one's a little bit of a
It,
surprise to me. Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, if we had an offense, Paul Skeens could potentially be undefeated.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. He could be about 13-0 right now.
Yeah, like his last start was his worst game, and that's still one of the better starts that anyone not named, Skeens, Keller, or Jones would throw out on this lineup
Mike,
during rotation.
they're talking about manager of the year in the NL. Sheltsy. Sheltsy, excuse me, lands in fourth place in the National League, Mike, at a plus 850 on FanDuel. Shelton, the fourth best chance to be National League Manager of the Year. The
I,
Milwaukee manager, the Philadelphia Philly manager, and the New York Mets manager, they fill in the 1, 2, 3 spot. Again, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, and the Mets. And Pirates, Derek Shelton, the fourth best chance to win the National League Manager of the Year.
this is a positive segment, so I'm not going to say a word.
You know what? If they would continue to win and be competitive,
Yeah,
I see it.
I
But
see
as
it,
I
but
said, I
you
see him
watch him
also.
day
I
in,
see his
day
odds
out.
dropping
Yeah, you
as
watch
we
him
move
day in,
forward.
day out. No, he'll do some good stuff, but the bad outweighs the good.
Also, one other thing about IKF, of course, Isaiah Kiner Falefa, he might got some advice. Garrett Cole, of course, a teammate of his before he came here, reached out to him and he told IKF this. This is what Garrett Cole said.
Run from Pittsburgh.
You're going to love it there. The stadium is beautiful and the people are awesome.
That is true.
And, you
Not
know,
not the organization,
no, it's pretty
the
cool though
stadium, and
because
the people.
I mean it's a thing that Garrett Cole. You know what? We're
Yeah,
never
that's
going to
cool.
see him again.
Yeah,
He came
he
here. He ran
knows.
his course. He turned into a butterfly, flew away. We're never going
Yeah,
to get to enjoy him. So the fact that he played here, he
yeah,
played there. He's in New York. He's winning big games. For him to come back and say, you know what, that it's
yeah.
a really nice place, great stadium, great people. You're going to
That's
like it.
always nice to hear.
Yeah.
That's
So
what you like. A lot of athletes that come through Pittsburgh, they end up staying here, even if it's like the latter part of their career. They'll end up staying here in Pittsburgh because they fall in love with the fans.
and then finally, Mike Jared Jones. Jared Jones,
Goat.
along with Josh Palacios, they will be making some rehab starts down in Indianapolis. Jared Jones, Mike, he will be starting Thursday night, tomorrow night, in a rehab game. So I look to see Jared Jones as early as next week. To
Oh
me, that
yeah,
would seem like a beginning to early next week start for the
yeah,
Pirates. In my opinion, a little too late. I think again their season is starting.
yeah,
They're starting their slide now. But there you go. If you want to get up
yeah,
there and you want to see some more elite pitching, Jared
yeah,
Jones should be back in the lineup next
yeah.
week.
Yeah, get him back in the lineup. Let him finish out the year pitching strong. Even though it's first year in the majors, most people are like, shut him down. You don't want to risk injury. I just go out there and let him get back on schedule through the end of the year. That way he starts the off season more or less as having done an entire full year as a full-time starter. His body and mind will know what to go in through the off season and coming back in, make this kid better next year.
Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website, man?
The2dumbyinters.com. Head on over there, everyone, especially if you're new. We have all of our links to Ryan and I social media. We got the blog up. I put up a banger on Monday after week long vacation. And a lot of good topics about the Steelers, the Buccos, some U.S. Olympic stuff on there. Check it out. And we got the merch store at the2dumbyinters.com.
Go check it out, everybody. www.the2dumbyinters.com. That's www.the2dumbyinters.com. As Mike said, a lot of cool things over there. Go check it out. All right, Mike, the question of the day, trivia question of the day. Of course, we're back to football season. You know how it goes. Whoever the Steelers play, we are going to be asking trivia questions about that particular team. Mike, I have two questions
All right.
for the Houston Texans. Do you want question A or question B? Pick your
Ooh.
poison.
Let's go with question A today.
Question A today. Here we go, Mike. Question of the day. Houston Texans question. It says who the Steelers play in game one of the preseason for them on Friday night at home. Here we go. Mike and everybody on the board, feel free to play along as well and at home. Here we go. How many wins did the Houston Texans have last season? We know they made that nice run in the playoffs. They upset some teams. They looked nice. But how many wins did they get in last year's regular season? Take a moment to think that over. We are live. We're live 5 days a week right here, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Check us out. Mike, I'm the podcast will be back up and running soon. However, of the moment, you will be able to find us right here, and I will certainly keep you up to date when the podcast version does come back up. Still a few discrepancies, but we are working on that. Mike, the question of the day is this: how many wins did the Houston Texans have last season? Regular season. That's all. Don't hurt yourself thinking about the playoffs. What was their regular season record and how many wins?
I know their playoff record was 1-1. That should have
Yeah,
been the question. I'm gonna go with 10.
10 wins. So you say they were 10-7?
Yeah.
Okay. And is that your final answer?
Yeah, final answer.
All right, I'm going to lock you in. All right, Mike. Question of the day. It's about the Houston Texans, the Steelers' next opponent. How many wins did the Houston Texans have last regular season? Mike says 10. The answer to this question is 10. They went
Oh
10 and
yeah.
7 last year in the regular season. They made it to the playoffs. They embarrassed the Browns, which was great. And they ended up getting embarrassed by the Ravens in the next round, 34-10. So
Yeah.
there it is, guys. I don't know what we're going to see from the Houston Texans. I know they've already played one game, so we may see a little bit more as far as players go
Yeah.
from the Texans this weekend than you would, in their
Yeah.
first game, which is our
Yeah.
first game.
Yeah. I think D'Amico Ryan said the first team ON defense is gonna run out there for the Texans. He's gonna have them play a while.
All right.
So be a good should be a good one.
Again, we do have Mike. Let me kind of go down this list real quick one more time for the
Yeah.
players that won't be playing this week. If you are looking forward to seeing any of these guys, these gentlemen will not be playing Friday night for the Steelers. Isaac Seumalo, Alex Highsmith, TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Russell Wilson, Minka Fitzpatrick, and Patrick Queen will all not be playing on Friday. However, Justin Fields in the first team offense, they'll be playing, what I say, off and on pretty much through the whole entire first quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much through
Sounds
the
about
first
right.
quarter with the first unit. So there you go. That's what we could look forward to for Friday night as the Houston Texas comes to the North Shore to take on our Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike, I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. We got this hanging in the air with Brandon Ayuk. Trade rumors going on, different names, different situations. We know the Patriots are out. We know the Browns, he has no interest in going there. The Commanders are they're hanging in the balance somewhere, but the Pittsburgh Steelers seem to me to be the front runner in where Brandon Ayuk wants to go. Whether
Yeah.
that can get done, I don't know. I got my fingers crossed. I'm watching all day long to keep up with the updates. But Mike, what do you think? From what I've seen this morning, I seen one of the Pittsburgh guys say that it's so close, it could be as early as sometime by the end of the week that this could,
Yeah.
in fact, be a real thing. Brandon Ayuk can be a Pittsburgh Steeler, Mike.
I have a feeling the longer this goes on, the better deal it's going to be for Pittsburgh.
You would
Because
think
this
so,
is,
right?
I think, yeah, with him holding out up at, for San Francisco, that's creating more and more of a distraction for that team. They have to answer it day in, day out. Players have to answer it day in, day out. At some point, the front office is going to get tired. And finally, there's like, you know what? Fine. This is the best offer we're going to get. We're taking it. Go. Get out of here. We're done. Good luck. Hey, thanks for what you did here. I think the longer it pans out, the better deal Omar Khan will make.
And here we are. We're going into games this weekend, and he's still walking around the field down there. They know that he doesn't
Yeah.
want to be there.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey even called him his former teammate
The
yesterday during
former
an
team.
interview.
Yeah. And
So, I
so
mean,
does he know? Do they know is something almost done in the works?
right.
Yeah. So I hope it gets done. I just don't overpay.
I
You're gonna
think
have
he's
to
going
pay.
to.
You're gonna have to give up a player from your roster, a starter probably from the roster, but
My thing is this: I don't think that Omar Khan's going to leave us hanging.
no.
I really felt once Deontay left, and this even became a conversation, and it was said that it wasn't going to happen. I still felt that Omar Khan was going to get something done. It's uncharacteristic of him to leave a spot open, a hole, especially
Yeah.
as big as wide receiver two. I think he will get something done. I hope it's Brandon Ayuk, but I do believe something will get done. Hopefully sooner than later. Mike, what do you got before we start to get ready to wrap things up? I do
Like
have one thing here.
I was just on Twitter and it's like Pat Frymuth made a catch on the sideline in front of Deshaun Elliott. Elliott landed awkwardly, stayed down, and walked off to a cart. He's left
Hmm.
practice.
He walked
So
off, or he was in a cart.
he walked to a cart and the cart took him off.
Yeah, okay. What do you think of
So
that?
who
It's a walk and a cart. I mean, you either
yeah,
get one or
he
the other.
hobbled to the cart. So hopefully he's okay. I just came across and like my heart stopped. I'm like, really? Our secondary's coming together, and one of the key pieces to it, our key free agent, is gingerly walking off the practice field. I don't want to see that.
Mike, my thing is this. This is finally a sport that I could relate to. In this Olympics, this French pole vaulter who gets eliminated because his wiener was so big and it got stuck on the pole vaulting.
Yeah.
Did you see this?
I think
Now you're
everyone
talking
saw
my
this.
now you're talking my language. This is the sports that I could be involved in.
Well,
This
then,
dude, the dude goes to the pole vaulters. They have that big
yeah,
thing and they run, they stick in the
yeah,
ground, they vault, they catapult themselves over, and his wiener got stuck on the on the crossbar,
yeah.
and he got eliminated because his pecker was so fucking long. What is this? Again, go ahead.
But the funny part is, last night at the Olympics, the guy who won gold set like I think a world record and runs over and kisses his girlfriend, and everyone's like, "Ooh, bro and girlfriend, we know what's going on down below. We feel sorry for both of you, but congratulations on the gold. Because if
You
you're
know what?
clearing
There's
the bar with no problem, you
right.
got a small PP, or because if you can't clear it, that means you got a big PP. So
I'd much sooner right. I respect the
I
guy
much
who
sooner,
lost the match because his
I,
pecker got stuck on the
yeah,
bar.
yeah, gold medal's nice, but now everyone's going to be saying, "Oh, we know what you got going on down below."
Right.
So
You're the
now this
gold
guy
medal. I want to be
has
known
to,
as the guy that got eliminated because my pecker
yeah,
was so large.
yeah. So now the gold medalist has to go out purposely
That's
trying to
the
hit the
real gold.
bar to, so everyone can see that, hey, I'm not small.
You know what?
But
I would get my Peter stuck on that thing every time now
yeah,
from
yeah.
now on.
Now, yeah, this guy ruined it for everyone after him because every gold medal, every new record, they're gonna go, oh well, we know why you got that record, bro.
I guess that he got offered $250,000 to do a porno after this. I swear to God, this is real information that I've seen. Two hundred
Hey,
fifty thousand dollars. I mean, the
some
porno is
people
probably going to be.
get all the breaks.
Yeah, yeah.
Go compete in the Olympics. Get two
That's
hundred
what I'm
fifty thousand
saying.
dollars. Go have
He's so much
yeah
more popular for the wiener thing than he is for the
yeah.
Olympics.
Dude
Who
can
knew of him before that happened?
exactly now,
Now,
dude. dude, sign up for make an OnlyFans, dude. Put it out there, you'll make some money, and then boom, you're set for life.
So there you have it. I do want to say thank you to everybody for checking us out and coming to hang out with us today. We appreciate each and every one of you. Believe me, we really do. We certainly couldn't, wouldn't do it without you. Um, am I forgetting anything? I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Today's Sidney Crosby's birthday.
Oh, today's Sidney Crosby, and I think it's Alex Highsmith as well.
Yeah, he was born 8/7/87, so he has that affinity for 87. Now people are like, oh, he's signing a contract today because it's his birthday. It's 8/7. So now
Hmm.
Penguin fans are hyping themselves up. So if he doesn't sign today, it's going to be the end of times. People are going to be like, oh no, he's leaving Pittsburgh. He's going to retire. Oh, he's going to go play somewhere else
What's the
because he
pole
didn't
vaulter's
sign.
name anyway? The French guy.
I have no idea.
It needs to be known. That's information that needs to be known by people. Yeah, I don't know.
Hold
It
on, hold.
appears that Mike's looking it up.
Oh yeah, there we go. Um, Anthony Amarati,
There you go.
Amarati,
If you want somebody to
Amarati.
look up to, someone to look for, to look up to in life, this guy got his wiener stuck on a
That
pole
was just the
vaulting bar
greatest.
to lose in the Olympics.
Well, that thing came up. I'm like, I was scrolling Twitter. I'm like, what the hell am I watching? Like, can I have a warning? That thing was like, whoa, whoa, right in my face. Like,
That
come
was
on, bro.
yeah. So there you go. True American hero in the Olympics for the French.
Lit man. But some guys get all the breaks.
That's right. Mike, anything else before we take
I
off,
got
man?
nothing.
All right. We do want to thank you, everybody. Like I said, once again, thank you for coming and hanging out. We appreciate each and every one of you. I do want to say thank you to Mike from the Pittsburgh Steeler Central mobile studio. Myself, the two dumb yins. Everybody have a great day. We will be back tomorrow at our normal time. Talk about hopefully we'll have good news about Brandon Ayuk. That's keep your fingers
Hopefully.
crossed. In the meantime, the Pirates do play tonight, 6:40. If you want to get down, check out the Riverhounds. They play at 7 o'clock. Besides for that, that is Mike. I am Ryan. We are the two dumb yinzers. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.